Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Fund Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha. And the text, we are going to cover three texts, 11, 12 and 13. We'll start with text 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 11, please repeat with me. O Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Nasaknad Anuragata Utkantyad Vaspa Khalaya Samparetam Sutam Smaram Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Nasaknod Anuragata Utkantyad Vaspa Kalaya Samparetam Sutam Smaran Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Nasagnod Anuragataha Autkantyad Baspa Kalaya Samparetam Sutam Smaran. Prabhuji. Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Nasagnod Anuragataha Autkantyad Baspa Kalaya Samparetam Smutam Smaran Bhavasavaya Krutadhir Nasagnod Anuragataha Aukantyat Vaspata Samparetam Sutam Smaran Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Masaknod Anuragatam Autkantyad Baspa Kalaya Samparetam Smutam Smaran Bhavastavaya Krutadhir Nasagnod Anuragataha Autkantyad Baspa Kalaya Samparetam Sutam Smaran. Word meaning? Bhavastavaya, for praying to Lord Shiva. Krutadhi, although decided. Na, never. Asaknot, was able. Anuragata, by feeling. Outkantyat, because of eagerness. Baspa Kalaya, with tears in the eyes. Samparetam, dead. Sutam, daughter. Smaran, remembering. Translation and purport by His Divine Graces Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Please repeat with me. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears, and in bereavement his voice choked up and he could not say anything. I'll read the translation and purports for the remaining verses. Please listen. Translation. At this time, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with pure consciousness he began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. And text 13. Translation. King Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices?" Purport. Although Daksha felt defeated, he knew that his punishment was simply the great mercy of Lord Shiva. He remembered that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are never neglectful of brahmanas, even though the brahmanas are sometimes unqualified. According to Vedic civilization, a descendant of Brahmana family should never be heavily punished. This was exemplified in Arjuna's treatment of Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama was the son of great Brahmana, Dronacharya, and in spite of his having committed the great offense of killing all the sleeping sons of Pandavas, for which he was condemned even by Lord Krishna, Arjuna excused him by not killing him because he happened to be the son of a Brahmana. The word Brahma Bandhusu used here is significant. Brahma Bandhu means a person who is born of a Brahmana father, but whose activities are not up to the standard of Brahmana. Such a person is not a Brahmana, but Brahma Bandhu. Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, Lord Brahma, but his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahmanical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha not as one does his enemy. Rather, he punished Daksha just to bring him to his senses, so that he would know that he had done wrong. Daksha could understand this, and he acknowledged the great mercy of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva towards the fallen Brahmanas, including even himself. Although he was fallen, his vow was to execute the sacrifice, as is the duty of Brahmanas, and thus he began his prayers to Lord Shiva. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanamaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा. So we are continuing the chapter 7 of Canto 4. So briefly we recollect what all had happened previously. So Brahma and with all the demigods visited Kailash, the Lord Shiva, and to pacify Lord Shiva so that he can restore all the damage whatever had happened previously. So he both all the demigods and Brahma pleased Lord Shiva, and the Lord Shiva was pacified, and then he gave the life to Daksha. And now after Daksha's head was previously his head was burned into ashes, right, in the fire sacrifice. So he got a goat's head. Now after getting the head of goat, Daksha got the consciousness and he was alive, and he started offering prayers to Lord Shiva. Those prayers we are going to see in today's 3 verses 11, 12 and 13. So if you see the few chapters back, the verses, I think a couple of weeks back, we discussed about the Mother Sati quitting her body. Right? It was happening in front of Daksha. Where the Mother Sati was making herself ready. She purified herself with the water, and she wore the saffron dress, and then she deeply absorbed in the meditation. When all these things were happening, Daksha was quiet. He was not stopping that act, and he was just watching the incident. And Mother Sati went into the meditation, and she was deeply absorbed in meditation with that mystic power, fire generated, and she committed suicide. These are all things happening. It was happening right in front of Daksha. He was silent at that time, and he did not stop. But now, after a few verses, fast forward. Okay, now in today's verse, if you see the translation of 11th verse, King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears, and in bereavement his voice choked up, and he could not say anything. So the transformation we could see just few weeks back. He was in the previous verses he was not opposing, but now what he is doing, he is getting tears in his eyes, his voice choked up, and he was recollecting the death of his daughter, and he started feeling very sad. This is what we can see, like what all happened during the, so in between, after mother Sati committed suicide, and Daksha got punishment through Lord Shiva, and the Lord Shiva got punishment. After the punishment, now he got the consciousness. He started feeling very sad about Mother Sati's death, when he was unable to offer prayers. So if what we can see in this, there was a story from Mahabharata, one thing, just we try to understand that, correlate with this story. So in the Mahabharata, Dronacharya asked both the Yudhishthir and Duryodhana. So he asked Yudhishthir, okay, go and search in the place who is more inferior than you. And Yudhishthira went, and he searched all everywhere, and he came back saying that, no, I could not find anyone who is more inferior than me, then more lower than me. That's what Yudhishthira mentioned. And then Duryodhana asked him, he asked Duryodhana a question, go and find out who is superior than you. Then Duryodhana went, and he saw everywhere, and Duryodhana came back and said, I could not find anyone who is superior than me. So This is a small story, but the brief message, what we can write, the way you see, yad bhavam tad bhavat, means whatever you see the world, with whatever consciousness you see the world, you will perceive accordingly. So the same way, in the previously, Daksha was very arrogant nature. He was fully puffed up with his material possessions, and he was not recognizing Lord Shiva, and he was not stopping when his daughter was committing suicide. But now it's completely changed. The way you see the things, it will you perceive like that. That was the important message. And now, what we can see that the Daksha got punishment, and now he has completely transformed. So then, if we see, just punishment brings all the transformation. Like in the material world, we see some people commit offense, some people commit crime, and they will be sent to jail. Some based depending on his circumstances, the crime, the kind of crime he committed. Sometimes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 10 years, like that. But when some people will completely transform, and some people will be again after coming back, they will be doing all the same bad things, like stealing something or committing, hitting someone, or committing all different sort of crimes. So some people will change get the transformation. Some people do not see any change, right? The punishment, do you get punishment for any act in the material world as per the law of that particular place? You will get punishment, but not all punishments bring transformation. But in this case, we could see Daksha's punishment brought him the different consciousness, right? His consciousness was purified. He was completely cleansed. That we can see. So how we can understand if a person is undergoing transformation because of punishment? What all the different stages he undergoes when the punishment is given? So that is what we try to see in relation to this verse. So if a person is given punishment, if he is undergoing transformation, he will pass through different stages. So what are the different stages? First thing, he will be realizing his mistake. So when he got into a jail, he will start remembering, like he is not able to meet his family members. He was only head of the family. His family in the back outside the jail will be suffering without proper support, right? So if he is continuing the jail for some years, then when he'll start thinking, okay, because I did the mistake, because of my mistake, my family is suffering. So this is where then he realizes that, oh, he committed a big mistake because of everyone is suffering. This is called realization. That is the first step. Whenever we get a punishment, if we are undergoing transformation, the first thing comes in our mind, the realization that you committed a mistake. That is the first thing. Then next, this realization leads to repentance. Repentance means you started feeling very sad about all other things. Your mistake is causing so many difficulties to other people. So this mistake is the first level is regretting, and the second thing, repentance. So you started regretting that your mistake is creating so much disturbance to all other people. That is the next step. Then third stage, where you will start praying, offering prayers to the Lord, saying that I will not do this mistake again. So the first thing, realization comes. Realization leads to repentance, and from repentance to you start praying, Lord, that okay, next time I will not. Once I go out of this jail, I will not do any mistake again. That was the feeling. And then once the last thing is, you will never do any mistake after coming out of the jail. So this is the process he undergoes. Then only you will see some change. Now these four things we can see in case of Daksha in this story. See, if you see the previous 10th verse, it was mentioned he was completely cleansed. So he realized that he has done a mistake, and then by seeing Lord Shiva with a new face, new head, then he was able to realize that he did a mistake, and consciousness was completely cleansed. And in the 11th verse, you can see his repentance. In the 11th, what he's doing? Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears. This is the repentance he is doing. So, and then in the his voice choked up, and he could not say anything because of his repentance. His voice choked up, and then he was not able to offer prayers. And in the third stage, he is offering prayers to Lord Shiva, that he will not do any mistakes. So same thing in the text 12 and 13, we could see he is offering prayers. And these are the three things. And the fourth thing, we see entire Bhagavatam, we read the pastimes of various devotees and various personalities. We never saw Daksha committing again a similar kind of mistake, right? So this proves that the four stages what we discuss exactly we can see in case of Daksha, that he realized the mistake and he corrected his action and he is moving ahead. So he is praying offers and he was trying to come back to his normal state. The punishment, how we can see, right? If you, in general, the punishment what we can see is if a person, a child is doing bad things, then what the parents are giving punishment, right? The punishment is, when you do the punishment, he may get pain, but the purpose of the punishment is to bring him on the right track, right? So that pain will cause a realization sometimes, and with that realization he will think that okay, I will not do mistake again. So same thing that the Lord Shiva is giving the punishment to Daksha, and that has made him to transform, right? And next one, in the verse 13 we could see the Daksha was saying, my dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. See, like what happened to Daksha? When Daksha was trying to perform yajna, for those who are new, just I was briefly touching the background. So Daksha was doing the sacrifice, he insulted Lord Shiva, and then again he was doing another sacrifice, and then at the time he did not invite Shiva, and Mother Sati, wife of Shiva, came, and she saw the Shiva got insulted, and there was then Mother committed suicide, and then Lord Shiva sent Veerabhadra, and Veerabhadra came and he cut his head, Daksha's head. See, all these things happened. So when the Daksha cut his head, he chopped off his head, and he was not alive. The Daksha was, it's like a dead person, and now he got a new head, and he's saying that thanks for punishing me. That is what the Daksha's words he is saying. In general, what we see in material condition nature, if I am coming to the temple, I am doing so many services. If I get any problem, what I feel, why I am getting, I am after doing so many services, after coming to temple every day, I am still suffering with so many problems. Why am that person? He never comes to temple, but he is saying happily. That kind of comparison we make in our material world. But what Daksha is doing, his head was cut, and now he got again the new head of goat, and now he is talking to Daksha, thanks for punishing me. This is what the transformation we could see here, how Daksha was, the realization is coming. So same thing as I mentioned, the punishment, how we could see what the child is doing wrong thing, and father punished, and he got him into the right path. Same way, the Shiva also told in the previous verses, right? They are all like a small my child, and they are doing the wrong things. I try to correct them. And in the same reciprocation, Daksha is also saying the same thing. Yes, thanks for punishing me. You corrected my mistakes and brought me into the right path. Right? This is what we can see, understand. And there is a story so we generally in the material condition we feel everything bad and good, but in Daksha's case we could see Daksha is saying that whatever God is doing, Shiva is doing, the Supreme Lord is doing, Vaishnava, the great devotees are doing, it is for our benefit. That is the mood of Daksha. In that consciousness only he was telling that thanks for giving the punishment. So there is a story in normal material condition how we deal with such situations, right? So a person like in the olden days, so a person bought a horse, and even he put so much money and he bought a horse, and neighbors came and saw visited him. Oh, you got a nice horse, and they were appreciating. Oh, you have done a very good thing, right? They are appreciating him. Oh, you have done a great job. You have done a good job. You got a horse. In the current situation, people will not buy horse. Maybe they will get big luxurious car or big bungalow. But in that olden days, he bought a horse, and everybody is coming and saying, "Oh, you have done a good job," and this person is saying, "Who knows what is good, what is bad?" This was his person's response. After few days, the horse escaped from the home, and it went into forest. And then people came and were saying, "Oh, something bad happened. A horse, you put so much money, now horse escaped." Then that person says, "Who knows what is good and what is bad?" Then after a few days, horse came back with forest with 3 more horses. So now he got 4 horses in the house. Then the people came and saying, "Oh, it's a great thing, good thing happened to you. You are very lucky. You got 4 horses total now." Then after few days, his son was riding the horse and he fell down. He broke his leg. And then people came and saying, "Oh, very sad, bad thing happened to you." Then again he says, "Who knows what is good and what is bad?" And then at that time it was like olden days. The kings were ruling that areas, right? The neighboring king from the neighboring state attacked this kingdom, and the king ordered all the people to everyone to come and join the war with other opposite king. Then this king, everybody, all the boys, everybody from that village joined the army except his son, because his leg was broken. He was not fit to participate in the war, and he was in the at house. And all the people who joined the war, they died in the war except this boy. So again people said, "What is like your son is lucky," but that person is saying, "How we don't know we don't know what is good and what is bad." See what we see in all these examples, we see good and bad. Duality we see in everything, right? We try to see in our material conditioned nature, in the material consciousness, we try to see everything as a good or bad, whether it is good for me, whether it is bad for me. That is how the consciousness we develop. What is the reason for getting that consciousness? In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, we can understand. Matra sparsastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukadukada, agama paino nityo, tam stitikshasva bharata. The translation says, "O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and this disappearance in due course are like appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed." So these things, like how we get heat and summer, now from last few weeks back we were feeling hot. Now everybody started wearing jumpers, right? So summer to winter, the way which comes, like in our life, troubles come, the sober person will tolerate. But the important word for which related to our topic is, if you see how they arise from sense perception. Our senses will give that kind of impression, right? This is good, this is bad. That is our sense, because our senses are so much conditioned, so always think in that direction, what is good for me, what is bad for me. This is why, that is the reason we see duality in everything. So, but we see another story, like a Damodar Leela pastime, right? So in the Damodar Leela pastime, what is one of the important point in the story was the Nalakuvera and Manigriva were cursed by the Narada Muni, because the Nalakuvera and Manigriva is the son of the treasurers, then Kubera's sons, and because of so much money they had, they were doing some all, they took intoxicated and they are doing all bad things. Narada saw them and they gave curse, and when the curse, they became trees. With the curse of Narada, they became trees, Yamularjuna trees in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj. And what happened? They were able to see all Krishna's pastimes in the childhood. That was their mercy. And what happened? Krishna directly, personally delivered from that curse. Right? So it is a curse, but what is happening? It is benefiting them to, though it is benefiting the Nalakuvera and Manigriva to see Krishna's pastimes, to get deliverance from Krishna. Though it is a curse, but it is benefiting them. So from these things, what we can understand, if the duality is there in our conditioned nature, but when Krishna, the Supreme Lord, does, he is beyond the 3 modes of material nature. So 3 modes of material nature will not impact him. And the pure devotees of Krishna, they are coming out of the influence of 3 modes of material nature. So in that mode, when they are out above the material modes, the Krishna is beyond the material mode. Whatever act they perform, it is only for the benefit of mankind. That is the conclusion. With same mode, Daksha is developing. After transformation, after getting the punishment, Daksha is also having the same mode. Right? Whatever Krishna does, whatever devotees of Krishna does, it is benefit for mankind. So we know, right? We read the verse, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Right? Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, he likes gos and Brahmanas, and Jagat Hitaya, Krishna does all good for all the mankind. So that is the message we can understand from this verse. Jagadhitaya Krishnaya, right? He does whatever he does, it is only for the benefit of mankind, for all the living entities. He does not do any bad to us. But yeah, because of our conditioned nature, we think all in duality. We are in duality. Okay, this is bad, this is good, like that. So another important story also we can see, in Kaliya pastimes. Like if the Saubhari Muni, also in the story also involved in the Saubhari Muni was doing the tapasya, meditation in the water, and when he is doing the meditating the water, he realized that the Garuda is coming and eating the fishes. He wanted to take the side of fish, and so he cursed Garuda, and so that because of curse by the Saubhari Muni, Garuda was not coming and eating fishes. That is good thing. But what happened later? Saubhari Muni fell down because he saw the two fishes and uniting. Then he fell down from the man. He went out and he married to 50 daughters of the other king. And then he came out of the water. What happened? Now Saubhari Muni well left and Kaliya went into the water. Now it started eating fishes. So whatever a person does, if you think that you are doing good, but down the line it will change it into bad. It will not prove that it is a good thing. But the other side, Krishna, what he did? Krishna, because this Kaliya went into the water and the water became poisonous. Then Krishna, what he said? He protected Brajavasis. By doing the Kaliya Leela, he protected Brajavasis from all the Gopas and Brajavasis from poisonous water. And he protected Yamuna river from Kaliya as well. And finally, he sent Kaliya. He gave the mercy because he danced on the Kaliya hood, and Kaliya got the mercy. And when the Kaliya was thinking that okay, if I come out of the water, Garuda can eat. Then he got the benediction from Krishna and he saved Kaliya as well. So when Krishna does things, it will be perfect. All aspects will be touched. It will be good for us. But when Saubhari Muni other side, he did. Oh no, without knowing much, but he simply thought, okay, my Brahmanical powers, I will protect fishes. But what happened? After some time, he left the water and fishes were again unprotected. Right? So that is how we can see the difference between the Daksha, the normal person's protection, and Krishna's protection. So again, this proves that whatever Krishna does, it is for our benefit. The same mode Daksha is reflecting. That is the reason he was saying, your punishment is mercy. With that mode only we can understand why he is saying that his punishment is mercy. So if the Krishna devotees, Lord feel that if Krishna slaps him, it is for his mercy. If Krishna embraces him also, it is his mercy. It doesn't matter whether it is a slap or embrace, he takes both in the same way. That is the key message which Daksha understands from this pastime of Daksha. The next one, he was like in the 12th verse we can see that he was offering the prayers to Daksha. Lord Shiva. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but because of the repentance, he was unable to offer his prayers. So in the Bhagavatam, we see so many prayers, entire chapter, right from the first canto to last canto, full of prayers. But now, in our today's chapter, the Daksha was offering prayers only after his punishment, right? So his consciousness was pure. With that pure consciousness, he realized who is Shiva, what is his position, what is Shiva's position, and he was completely understanding what is the connection with Shiva to Krishna and all those things. He got a complete realization. In that mode, he started offering his prayers to Shiva. So in the same way, in Bhagavatam, whatever prayers we see, it's not just in a conditioned nature, it's all the matured state of their realization, the many exalted devotees, great sages offering their prayers. So in the similar way, the Daksha also got the realization. He started offering prayers to Lord Shiva. So if you see in the subsequent lines, in the verses, the Daksha and all the other demigods offer prayers, and then Daksha performs yajna under the guidance of, I briefly touching because subsequent verses devotees will talk in detail. But after offering the prayers, the Daksha, the Lord, the Daksha begins his sacrifice under the guidance of Brahma and Shiva. Vishnu appears, and Vishnu appears. Then the Sukadeva Goswami was mentioning, calling Vishnu as a Adokshaja. The word Adokshaja was being used in calling Vishnu. So what is the general meaning of Adokshaja is beyond our material supervision, material vision. That is the general. But Prabhupada was giving different, one more deeper meaning of word Adokshaja. In the Devanagari Lipi, first word is A, the starting word, and the last word is Ksha. So any words starting from A, the Ksha, in between, with various permutation and combinations, we create many words. That is Ja. So Akshaja. The Ja means Jana, like taking birth, Janma. Right? So any word taking birth with the combination, permutation and combination of A and Ksha is Akshaja. That is the word. But those words cannot help us to understand completely Krishna. That is why Krishna, the words generated between Aksha is Akshaja, but those words will not help us to understand fully Krishna, completely Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's glories. Those words we cannot, with material combination, we cannot understand. That's why Krishna is Adokshaja. So he is beyond those material words which will not help us to understand Krishna. So what I'm trying to, so we cannot understand Krishna in any with all our material senses. Using these material techniques, we try to generate various words. Through those words, we will not be able to understand Krishna completely. So we cannot So then what is the way? So even Ananta Shesha with 1,000 hoods glorifying Krishna, and his glories are unlimited, continuously singing. So that's the reason we cannot understand Krishna fully. And then how we can understand Krishna? In the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, it was mentioned, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mami payantite. Right? So translation is, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Right? So the word which is more relevant to our topic is constantly devoted. So you need to, when you do perform devotional service constantly, you will be able to understand Krishna. Not without doing devotion. If you try to with material knowledge, by doing so many jugglery words, you will not be able to understand Krishna. Only thing, constantly perform devotional service. Then we have 9 types of bhakti in devotion, using which when we perform those different types of bhakti, choose anything, and then you will be able to progress in bhakti, constantly do. Then Krishna will give the intelligence. With that intelligence, you will be able to understand Krishna. But when we see the few different types of 9 types of bhakti, right? First, Shravanam. How long you will hear? You will sit in the class for 1 hour. After that, you will mind start going outside of the class. You will not be able to understand, right? So hardly you can do 1 hour in a day, couple of hours, not continuously, right? Shravanam. Kirtanam, singing also you have a physically limitation, right? We can't sing after 1 hour. You sing for 1 hour or 2 hours, and your legs will start paining. Your body will start, voice will start troubling you, right? So you will not be able to do. Even you will do that for some time, but you will not be able to do constantly. The word constantly, right? You have to do any devotional service constantly to understand Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Smaranam also we have same problem, right? Even the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, the deity worship. Not everybody is eligible to do the service. And Pada Sevanam, going to different pilgrimages, you will do once in a year. And Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanidhanam, Dasyam, the Hanuman, like Hanuman, the Dasyam mode, it's very difficult to follow those things, right? The Dasyam, Sakyam, you treating like Krishna like a friend, that is also not practical. And Atmanidhanam, complete surrender. In the beginning stage, we don't have all these qualities. So if we take only one thing and perform different services, we will not be able to perform. So that's why Prabhupada recommended different activities. And one of the important aspect of that 9 types of is Vandanam, prayers. Prayers is one of the important service through which we can pray Krishna. Like prayers is like a hotline connection to Krishna. Right? So generally if you see, in current in the material world between head of states, like Prime Minister of Australia, if you wanted to Prime Minister of America, President of America, or President of India, they talk through hotline. Hotline is direct connection, no interference in the middle. Separate network, all the security, they will have a hotline connection. You will talk to them directly. So no middleman, no SIM card, no mobile charging, all those direct hotline connection, right? The same thing, the prayers are like a hotline connection. You express your feeling, Krishna listens. That is the importance of, that is the prayer. And second thing is the prayers. When we offer the prayers, the mood of the prayer, in which mood we offer prayers. Like if you see the Daksha's mood, he was praying Lord Shiva. Previously he was very envious about Lord Shiva. But now, when he is started offering prayers to Shiva, he realizes that the Shiva is superior. Daksha is realizing that Shiva is superior than him. So when we are offering the prayers, we should have a mood like submissive mood, surrender, like you are inferior to that person to whomever you are offering, like Shiva or Krishna. You should feel that you are servant to that person, and you should have humble and humility. With that mood, you need to offer the prayers. With the arrogant nature, you cannot offer prayers. Reason? The same, Daksha was in arrogant nature. At that time, he was feeling that, okay, I am superior, I don't need to offer prayers. But when you need to have a submissive nature to offer the prayers. And prayers can be offered in different moods. In the ignorance, the mode of ignorance, you think that you tell someone, okay, if you don't do prayers, God will punish you, like that you tell small kids, right? That is a mode of ignorance. And prayers in the mode of passion. Okay, if I offer prayer, Krishna, give me something. That is mode of passion. And mode of goodness is like as a duty you are doing. But out of all this, the most important duty is above all three modes, with love and devotion, when you offer prayers, that is the more topmost. That is where you get Krishna's mercy. So the prayers. So Daksha is offering that to the final stage. He is not in the three modes. He came out of those three modes of influence, and he is offering prayers with a pure consciousness. I think I will finish quickly in 2 minutes. So, and if you are not able to offer, if you are not like offering prayers, see in our state, everybody cannot offer prayers. What we can do? We need to read the prayers provided in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That will help us to understand Krishna. Though we may not, in the beginning we are discussing, right? To understand Krishna, there are different services, different types of services. We cannot do all. Prayers is one more option we have. But you may not be scholarly person, so you may not be able to nice poems to describe Krishna, to glorify Krishna. But still, you can read the prayers mentioned in the Bhagavatam. That will purify your consciousness. Down the line, you may get knowledge to write your own prayers. Suppose if you are not getting any words to offer prayers, still you can go and stay in front of and express your feel. Try to express your feeling. If you are not able to express feeling, Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He will understand your intention, your mood. He will say. And sometimes we think that Krishna is not listening our prayers. But that is not correct. One small story. It was this was related to the Titanic ship. We all know the Titanic, the story. It was at that time before it was sinking. The people used to call it unsinking Titan. It is unsinkable, like it cannot sink in the water. That was they used to pronounce the Titanic like that. And one family in Scotland, they tried to travel it in the Titanic, and they made all the arrangements. But and they prayed the God that okay, their journey will be successful. And then just a few days before the journey, one of his family members got some not ill health, and they could not join the boarding of the Titanic ship. And then they missed the boarding the ship, and they were they are calling God, we prayed so much, we thought of going this. You made all our plans, spoiled our plans. They were criticizing God. But after a few days, they got to know that ship was sank. Then they understood, this is Krishna, God's plan. Right? So that's why when we offer prayers, we think that, okay, God is not listening. But that is not correct. God will have a better plan for you. That's why He is not responding to this prayer. he will be having better plan than what you planned. God's plan is always better than our plan. Like we see, Saubhari Muni past time, Saubhari Muni did something, but it is not complete. But Krishna made everything proper, right? So this is all the different types of prayers where now Daksha is got the complete realization of mistakes. He corrected his mistakes. Now he got into proper consciousness. With that proper consciousness, he started offering prayers. So in the subsequent verses, we will see all these details. Okay, anyway, it's already 8:52. So I will stop here. Any comments? Yes. Yes. So yeah, that's what actually I was explaining in the beginning, Prabhu. So any punishment, like the Daksha got punishment. Punishment in terms of his head was cut, and all other waves. So the fire sacrifice was damaged. Many other the Bhrigu Muni and many other people got damaged, right? Punishment. So like as I explained in our material example also, when we get punishment with that pain, like now is not only that those are all the punishments which the Shiva gave. But along with the punishment, when he got the new head, he was like the Daksha, Shiva gave him a new head, right? When we got the new head, now his consciousness is changed. How it is changed? That's what I was explaining. The first step is realizing the mistake, right? He realized it that with that punishment, with that pain, like in the subsequent 11th verse also, he was recollecting his daughter's death. And all these things causing the realization. That realization is bringing the transformation. Unless you realize your mistake, you will not be able to transform. This is common for anyone. If you that's what I'm taking. Give the example. If a person is sent to jail for 5 years, even after coming out of the jail, if he is doing mistake, means he did not understand the pain. With the punishment, what he got, he did not realize the pain. In case of Daksha, he realized the pain. Not only his head was cut, his daughter was committed suicide. That he remembering, and he was started getting voice choked up, right? These all things making him transformation. I didn't see any specific significance here, Prabhu, in the I did not, but I heard in some other lectures that the Shiva asked him to see in a particular direction. I don't remember where in which lecture I heard, and when he saw in a particular direction, I think he asked someone to look for some direction, other direction. In that direction, whatever head is there, you bring that. Then he saw the goat is there. Then he got the goat's head. That's I heard in some lectures, but I did not find any such reference. I don't know. So first question is like, even after doing this much austerity, still he was insulting. See, Prabhu, we have to understand in a different direction. Like what is the main purpose of Daksha's job? Brahma created him to create the progeny, right? Now he created 10,000 sons, so that he wanted to create the progeny to fulfill his father's desire. But other side, Narada came and converted all of them into Brahmanas, right? So someone is disturbing his job, right? So that way he got anger. But it's not that is what we can see. So Narada is doing good thing. Both are doing their job. So that's how. So you are stopping the Brahma Daksha's job to create progeny, right? So that is how we can think of. That's the reason. So if someone is stopping your work, definitely you will feel upset, right? So and same thing. Brahma asked to create the progeny, and first time 10,000. Again, next set of the sons also again he converted into brahmacharis, right? So in all these things he got anger. But yeah, he did not behave the way now he behaved with Shiva, right? At least he controlled his senses up to certain extent, we can see. But in case of Shiva, he called so many with the languages, right? The language he used against Shiva. He did not did the same. He did not do to Narada in the same way. Just he cursed. So yeah, the difference we could see some change. But and what is the next question? Gauranga, the Gauralila. I don't have any reference, Prabhu. Who is the Daksha? If anyone has any clue. Okay, I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.